Welcome back to another episode of the Slack Adjusters. I am one half of the Slack Adjuster, Tim Motivates, and my player partner,
Salim V World. What's happening, baby?
Man, we back at it again. In the words of Salim, man, we got a special one. Y'all know we make videos here and there, but we wanted to bring y'all something special, something for the trucking community. You know what I mean? So a little backstory. I got my boy Ken in the building. We're about to bring him up in a second. Man, we started off at Old Dominion Freight Line together off of Moreland Avenue, unloading forklifts, man. You know, we go way back, and, you know, it's crazy how life brings us back around. But as you can see in the title, Ken is doing the dump trucks thing now. And we're going to bring him in now and let him tell y'all the full story. 1 second, Ken, where you at, baby? Boom, there you go right there.
What's happening, man?
Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good,
Man,
Good evening.
good. Special guest, welcome to the show, my brother. How you?
Man, I really appreciate you guys having me, man. I was excited when you first called me.
I
said,
thought you were
know
going to say
what?
no, boy.
Yeah, no, I was excited, man. I said, you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait to bring whatever he asked for me to do. I'm here. And brother Salim, same to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Same
Yes,
to
sir.
you.
It's good to see you. Good to see you. Yes,
Thank
sir.
As I was saying, man, we started off back in Old Dominion together, man, and, you know, unloading forklifts, and, you know, here we are. I want to get your story. I don't want to like tell your story for you, man. Let's just jump right into it, man. Tell the people how'd you got started in the trucking industry, brother.
And you're right, man. Believe it or not, it actually started off from that time frame.
Okay.
The whole Old Dominion days. Who would have known that from back then, loading and unloading trucks? And fast forward to where we at now, you know, we'll be having a podcast in 2025 talking about trucking. You know what I mean? Let's just be fair and honest. You know, time flies. But yeah, I started off at Old Dominion, man, at OD, loading and unloading trucks, long days and stuff like that. And that was actually the first introduction to any kind of warehousing or anything like that. And then I ended up moving on to their competitor, Saya.
Okay.
And that was right down the street, which all worked out for them, you know, because it was all right around the corner.
Yep.
So anyway, I started working with Saya for a little while, and I got an opportunity to actually start switching outside.
What's
Switching truck. Okay, switchers / hustlers, same
Okay.
concept. Okay. Basically taking loaded trucks out to the yard, taking empty trucks from the yard, bringing it back to the dock, you know, for it to get loaded. So I started doing that on a regular basis.
Yep.
And I enjoyed it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anything other than that loading dock was great for me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. So I kept on at it, and Saya ended up having a program where you can train to be a driver called Dock to Driver.
Nice.
And man, as soon as that program came available, man, it was a no-brainer for me. You know, I jumped right all over it. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why sit here, work the dock? Why sit here switching the yard? I mean, why not? It's the next elevation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I jumped all over it. And then the thing that was crazy about it, lucky for me, is that they offered my license and offered to keep me in town. So it was a plus. It was a plus for me. I'm like, oh, let's do it. So I stayed with them for quite some time or whatnot, and obviously me and you kept in contact with each other. We lost contact for a little while.
We lost contact. Do you remember how we got back together? All right, I'll tell the story. So same thing. I started off. I left Old Dominion and went to AAA Cooper on the north side, and I was switching / hustling. And I did the AAA Cooper program to get my CDL. So it's crazy how we had the same journey, even though we lost contact, we lost numbers and everything. And I was at some type of delivery in a AAA truck, and you was in a damn side truck doing delivery at the same place. And this had to be, so we was working at at OD around 2006 or whatever. I want to say this was like 2012, 2013. We ran into each other.
Yep.
And you had done grew your dreads and everything. You would flag me down, Tim. Man, I knew that was you. I'm looking like, what's up, man? You know, like
That
somebody
is right.
know you,
It
but
is
you
right.
don't know them, Salim.
Know them. Yeah, you didn't recognize me at first, yeah.
I'm dapping him up all slow, like, what's up, man? How you doing?
Try to remember.
He like, man, it's me, Ken, pimping. As soon as he said pimping,
Right.
I used to call him
Yeah.
pimping Ken. Oh man, that's my boy. So it was.
So yeah, so that's how we basically got back in contact with each other. And you know the funny thing about it though, Salim, me and this guy actually, we knew each other, like we were tight. You know what I mean? He knew about my son around that time.
Yep.
He knew about all the stuff that I was. Basically, we were young guys growing up together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had his stuff going on his, you know, with his family and all his personal stuff as well. And we were kind of sort of, you know, we were just growing up, man.
Right.
And like I said, it's ironic how we both took the same path, lost contact, and then we still doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
That's good
So,
stuff.
man, it is. But anyways, yeah. So I ended up getting my license through Sire, and I stayed with him for quite some time. I think I ended up staying with him for about another 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I had always talked about it was other things. Before I jump the car, before I jump the gun, let me see if there's anything else that you may want to ask, or if you have that you may want to ask before I start.
Well, I don't want to jump it either, because when you are talking, it kind of reminded me of when you reached out to me about leaving Sire and doing something else. And was it another company you worked with before you left? Before you jumped into the owner op game?
Before I jumped into the owner op game, I was working for a real good company. I don't know if I should say their name or not, because I'm sure that they're gonna get flooded out. But I was with Sherwin Williams. Yeah, Sherwin Williams, this, you know, paint company. And man, it was actually one of the better journeys, man. But the difference was when I was at Sire, I was an LTL driver. So I was so used to doggone, you know, going around delivering around town. And for the most part, my deliveries were downtown Atlanta. So pretty much every single building that you see downtown, you know, I pretty much made a delivery to. So going to Sherwin Williams was a different pace, a different journey. Now we talking about, you know, I'm downtown stopping every 5 or 10 minutes to now I'm driving 400 miles to my first delivery. I mean, it was a grueling first couple of months, because it was a big wake up call. You know what I mean? I've done it before, but it wasn't on a consistent basis.
Right.
But I ended up loving Sherwin Williams, man. They never bothered me or anything like that. So I stayed with them for about another year. And me and Tim was talking, and he jumped out there before I did, obviously. He had good guys like you, obviously, that he kept in contact with. But Tim ended up jumping out there before I did. And we always talked about it. I always expressed, you know, the love, or always expressed the fact that that I wanted to be an owner operator. You know what I mean? Obviously, I only saw the glamour in it, like everybody else.
Okay.
You know, I just knew that I was gonna get out here and buy me a W9, and I'm gonna make all the money in the world.
It's gonna be smooth.
I mean, when I say that was the biggest dream ever, man, it's still, you know what I mean? It's not a bad dream, but anyway, I ended up expressing the fact that I wanted to get out there and own operator.
Let me hop in real quick. Was it anything significant in your life that happened? Like, was it a family situation? Was it just money? Was it like, or just the allure of being an owner operator?
Believe it or not, the idea was just the allure of being an owner op. The idea at first. So, you know, just flirting with the idea, talking about it, working, and just wanted to be an entrepreneur. But then, boom, like you said, the reality hits, life hits. You know, me and my family were having a little bit of issues, some family issues, and I ended up, unfortunately, losing my family. You know, but I ended up wanting to keep full custody of my son, obviously. So during that time frame, I was still in that transition phase of working at Sherwin Williams, and I ended up getting full custody of my son.
Ain't that something?
So yeah, I ended up going through the whole process. You know, did what I had to do, and I ended up bringing him home. Nice. And I just figured that he needed to be home. Now, the unfortunate part about it is, Well, I just took a job that's putting me out over the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I got to be at home and nobody's here with me. It's just me. So so I was talking to you about it, and I was expressing that stuff to you, like, hey man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this or whatnot. And it just so happened, when I say everything fell into place,
Yeah.
it just so happened that I think something was going on with your job. They were upgrading their fleet or something like that.
Yep.
They were upgrading their fleet, and that is exactly how I got my first truck.
What
They
type
were
of truck was
upgrading
that,
their
Ken?
fleet. It was an international. It was an international with a Cummins engine in it. And mind you, now once again, I'm coming from driving for a company.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about the owner operator world. I know nothing about trucks. I know nothing about engines. I try to get a mechanic out there. I try to do everything that I possibly could to make sure that I was getting a good deal. And obviously, you know, just knowing that it was a Cummins engine, I can get people to work on it and everything else. But
Yeah.
Let me jump in here for a second, because I want to keep tracking with you. First of all, I want to go back before we get too far away. How much paint did you spill when you was working at Sherwin-Williams? That's the first question.
That's the first question.
Yeah.
I was a pretty. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you ask me other questions. Then.
No. Go ahead and ask the question. You was kind of breaking up a little bit. Tell me how much paint you tipped over.
Sherwin, you gotta have your tanker's endorsement and your hazmat.
Okay.
So they're not even full with you. And when I say that drivers are all like old, they weren't even hiring anybody around my age or even looked like me.
Right.
All their drivers had the grays all up here and here. So these, like, they were not fooling with anybody young, and they were definitely not hiring anybody LTL from my recollection back then.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is now, but back then. So we were like one of the first set of guys that came in around that time frame. But the job at Sherwin-Williams was pretty decent, man. I never had any issues. They took care of me. I knew exactly where to go. They made sure that I had everything that, I mean, they didn't have any, I didn't have any issues with them at all.
You weren't doing dry van with them?
I was actually pulling dry van state to state.
Right, and so you were carrying the buckets of paint in the back of the dry van?
I'm carrying.
You never tipped over no paint?
I've never tipped over a doggone thing of paint.
Wow,
Ain't
man,
that something? You know, but now let me say this, to be fair, their pallets don't go up any higher than maybe waist high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna,
they know.
You're not gonna have a truck filled with paint stacked all the way to the top. You know what I mean? So they're pretty much just kind of sort of somewhat level. And if you do have any double stacked pallets, they would be loaded all the way in the front. So to be fair, they loaded the trucks right. You know what I mean?
Good. That's good.
And I did have to pull in those every single Sherwin-Williams store that you go to. You got to get a dry van in there, and 90% of them are in some kind of shopping plaza.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be able to slide them tandems back and forth. And I don't know if I'm talking a little bit too much, but
you're good.
Anywhere go though, man, not to deter anybody. It is a great company.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have certain circumstances, you know, I mean, that was another chapter in my life, and I would never erase that chapter. But I'm good where I'm at. But they are a good company. I would highly recommend them if anybody's looking for employment. They're definitely a great company.
You started segueing into you buying your first truck, right?
That is correct.
And if our viewers are understanding that we're talking about a dump truck, was that a dump truck your first truck, or was it a tractor trailer?
I'm so sorry. You are absolutely right. You're asking all the right questions. No, actually, while I was at Sherwin-Williams, I bought my first over-the-road truck.
Okay,
it was just a tractor, just a power unit, just a straight power unit.
Okay,
you're absolutely right.
Okay,
so
cool.
So I bought my first power unit, and I actually bought it with the help of Tim. You know,
yeah.
And you know what was so funny about that? I think when they called me and told me I won the bid, or that I did actually I actually purchased the truck.
Yeah,
I was in Tennessee then when I got the call.
Man,
when I said I was excited, man, I was in that truck just screaming for joy, because two things had happened. Mind you, my son now knew I was going to be able to come home and be able to maneuver, because now I have full custody of my son. And then secondly, I was going to be rich.
You was listening. Hey, you was listening to the trucking guru. You was listening to the trucking guru too much.
All of them.
Get that. I was going to be rich. That's the whole everything. Those two factors were the main drive, you know.
Yeah.
But
Now,
but
what
no, I
year?
ended
What
up
year
getting.
international was it again? What year was the international?
Man, I couldn't believe it or not. I should have get my facts right.
'07 International Eagle.
That's what it was.
07, 07 International Eagle. Bro, that's the same truck I had with the Cummins engine.
With the Cummins engine.
That was
Believe
that was
it or
my
not.
first truck.
Are you serious? Believe it or not, you know, it was a Cummins ISM. Now, once again, I'm coming from clocking in to now into on the operator world.
Yeah.
So all these lingos are totally different and foreign to me. Okay, ISM, Cummins. I just know Cummins is a good brand. I knew that international well brand to stay away from. But if you had international with a Cummins in it, you'll be okay.
Good, yeah.
So I thought. So I thought. You know, but once again, this is just my experience.
Hey,
So I have to put a disclaimer out there.
feel free to throw me under the bus anytime here, Ken. Don't take it easy on me, man, because I still feel bad. Just tell the people quickly what happened, man.
Okay, so I wanted to so once again, me and Tim kept in contact with each other. He called me, he was like, hey man, my job is upgrading. Well, they're upgrading all the fleet, and the truck that I used to drive personally, they got it up for auction, just employee only. And I can kind of sort of throw your hat in there. You know what I mean? It's a good truck. I drive the truck pretty much on a daily basis. It's pretty decent. I said, okay, you know what? Tim, my brother, I know he got my back. We're gonna do it. So anyway, he helped me out with it. We got the bid and everything else. And unfortunately, Tim, 3 weeks later, the truck was done.
That's terrible.
What happened?
3 weeks pulling containers. And yes, my whole entire, every single thing. Mind you, I bought the truck cash. So which was the most ideal in any situation, right? And this is for all your viewers and everything else. Everybody would love to have a paid off truck or paid off equipment. That's the key part, right? So when you coming into the game automatically with that mindset and you just bought a tractor, cash, and you actually have the title and everything else, you are excited. You ready. You jumping in this thing. You like, bump everybody else. I got a paid off truck. Everybody else got a truck note. You know what I mean? So y'all automatically your mindset is like, man, I'm going to be awesome, not just good.
G-Wagon.
Exactly. Where's the bell at? Ding, 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 ding.
Right.
But no, unfortunately, man, the truck, I didn't do my due diligence as well. Once again, I didn't know, I didn't realize, I didn't take it to a mechanic or anything like that. I just did the small little maintenance, here and there as far as oil change, got everything checked out. But
what happened? Did the motor blow up? What happened? Did the motor go?
It probably would have been better if it did, but no, man, it just, yes. I'm sorry, Tim. I don't know if you knew all this, but
let it out.
But no, I was actually on the way to Alabama one day. Go pick up a load in I think it was Birmingham, and I'm about 30 minutes into the ride with an empty trailer, and I couldn't do any more than 60 miles an hour going downhill. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing?
Yeah.
So I made an executive decision. I said, man, Birmingham is that way. Mechanics and home is this way, 30 minutes back. So I just turned around and went back. I made that executive decision. You know what I mean? Went back, dropped the trailer off, and I was able to limp to the shop that did regular maintenance on that tractor. The shop that they gave me all the records and everything else.
The guy in Lawrenceville? Was this guy in Lawrenceville?
That is correct.
Okay, go for it. Keep going.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember the name of the shop, but yeah. Went out there. He called me a couple of days later, and it was just, man, it was a laundry list of things that needed to get done. From the turbo to the charge air cooler to the this to the that. And I'm like, I think it was about $10,000 to about $11,000 worth of repair. After I just spent all this money buying a paid off truck. I mean, cashing out on the truck.
Yeah.
So So yeah, my first, just for the viewers out there, that it's not a short thing. It's
Right.
long term, and these guys know they've been in the business longer than I have, and they
Yeah.
will tell you it's longevity in it, and it's definitely lucrative. But you have to stay the course, man. You have to.
Yeah.
But yes, so 3 weeks after buying a truck, paying cash for it, going down the road, happy as I don't know what, doggone truck breakdown, take it to the shop. I got about $10,000 to $12,000 worth of repairs, and I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then I just quit my job, my what, $90-something thousand a year job, and then I got my son at home. So it
Yeah.
was just bam,
Mhm.
bam, bam, bam. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. I was depressed for a little while.
Yeah.
Um, Listen to a couple of other guys or whatnot. So I guess that would be one of the worst situations that I've been in as far as or
Yeah.
worst things that I have been in trucking
Yep.
is when you decide to purchase any kind of equipment,
Uh-huh.
anything. I don't care what it is. Absolutely make sure you get it checked out. Obviously, I
Yeah.
mean, I know that it's like being a dead horse, but you can't stress that enough. Go
Mhm.
get it checked out. If you don't feel too good about it, walk away from the deal. If it's too good to be true, walk away from it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's your brother. Tell him, hey man, look, I don't feel comfortable with that. You know what I mean? And just walk away from it. But I would advise anybody to get that stuff checked out, whether it's a truck, trailer, whatever.
Yeah, you
So
gotta have a good mechanic go with you. You have to know some stuff about
Exactly.
it. It's hard to and then there's also the variable. There's also other variables. Stuff can go wrong after everybody check everything out and everything's beautiful. It still can go wrong. It's just it's whatever whatever's meant to be is going to be, man. And you got
Exactly.
to sell it.
Exactly.
But the thing, what I've learned from a lot of owner operators, it comes down to the individual, right? It comes down to the individual. Do you have the resilience and the wherewithal to stick with it and go through it? And
Exactly.
I mean, from jumping out there the way you jumped out there,
Hmm.
we don't know the rest of the story. You're about to give it to us.
yeah.
You still out here and you still make it work. That
Yeah.
shows a lot about your character versus
Yeah.
some people got out here, and fail right off rip, and then they give up. So
And they give up. And
yeah.
mind you, now I forgot to give you guys a timeline. This was all in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
This was all
Okay.
around the 20. Yeah, this was actually 2018 going into 2019.
Okay.
So
Pre-COVID.
so this was like pre-COVID. It wasn't quite in the United States yet. It was still overseas and stuff like that. They was talking about it over there. But
Hmm.
so anyways, that happened. And I was out of work for at least about a good couple of months, man. I didn't know what to do. Once again, I just quit my job. I got my son at home. I just lost all this money, and I'm stuck with an equipment, and now I'm paying for truck parking. I'm paying for all this stuff. I done bought tags for the truck. I mean, I spent what, days cleaning it out and making sure it was all nice and pretty. I got a really, really, really pretty truck sitting
Yep.
out there, and I don't know what to do. I don't know
And this
what to
is
do at
like
this
3 weeks. This is like after
point.
running for three
After
weeks.
running for 3 weeks, exactly.
What did you
Running.
figure out after sitting home for like another three
So
weeks? What did
I
you
said
do?
no. I actually took a big hit, man. It took a big hit on me because I've never been in that kind of position before. I've always, like you said, always been responsible and I always had a job or some kind of source of income.
Yeah.
So I took a big hit. So, anyways, talking with another good fella, he was like, you know what, man? I know that you don't want to touch certain funds, but you may have to dip into certain funds and you may have to go get a better truck if this is what you want to do. I thought about it. I did the numbers. I think I even called you about it. Thought about it, did the numbers, and that's what I ended up deciding to do. I ended up going to Select Trucks down in McDonough, giving them a down payment. And the funny thing about it, when I
What's
walked in there, the first thing the salesperson told me
what's
when
that?
I explained my situation to him, he was like, "Man, get rid of that truck, man. That is a money pit." And when people tell you get rid of a truck is a money pit, just do your numbers, think about it. It might just be that. Sometimes you may think you can't afford certain things, but if you are a business owner, right, and
Yeah.
you just want to stay away from certain things, certain obstacles, certain problems, certain things that may arise, you may have to go a certain route,
Okay.
which basically my second plan should have been my first plan, basically,
Right.
because I ended up going to Select Trucks. I ended up giving them a down payment on a truck, and I think the truck was like had about 400,000 miles on it or anything like something like that. It came with all this warranty, and the payments wasn't that bad at all. I think back then it was like maybe 1,300 a month.
What type of truck was it?
1,200. It was a Freightliner Cascadia.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And guess what I drive now? Oh, yes, yes. A Freightliner Cascadia. They converted me that day. I
Okay.
went from an International to a Freightliner. Never
Yeah.
get.
Man, Salim had a good luck with his international. I don't want us to
Saw the reaction, and he's like, "Hold on now, don't
I
talk about the
know.
International."
That's what I was trying to say. It was an International Eagle 9400,
No, it was a 9200.
and it had an ISM. It had an ISM.
It had the ISM, the Cummins ISM.
I had an ISX in mine.
X. That's the difference. Yep, that's a big difference. The ISX is Go ahead.
It's crazy, man. So backstory on that truck, and we'll move on. I drove that truck before I bought my semi truck. I drove the truck that Ken bought for a chemical company for 2 years. That truck was, they ordered some brand new Peterbilts, and you know, the Peterbilts was day cab, but that truck was a sleeper. They was like, Tim, we'll give you $60 a week. I mean, $60 per diem for the nights that you got to stay out in the truck. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because they were getting hotel rooms. I used to drive that truck from Atlanta to Savannah to Statesboro to Augusta and back on like Mondays and Tuesdays. That was my turn. And throughout the rest of the week, I drove it locally. And it was a great truck. Now, one day, when I quit and bought my truck, they parked that truck.
They did.
They parked it, but their policy was to continue to do PMs on the truck every 3 to 4 months or whatever. Now the truck sat for like a year before Ken wanted an auction. I just knew that truck was going to be great because it never put me on the side of the road. Never put me on the side of the road, but it did do Ken dirty, and I still feel bad. My bad, Ken.
No, brother. You are absolutely fine. You are absolutely fine. It's just at the end of the day, when you
I would have bought
it, man,
I would have bought it.
you know, now you see, and believe it or not, with every single thing that you just said, right? A lot of people will probably be like, man, you know what? Forget Tim, blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of people told me that. They was like, man, that guy kind of, and I'm looking like, man, look, how did y'all know that this dude knew that this truck was going to mess up? He didn't know.
They told you that I knew that something wrong with the truck.
Some people be like, man, I don't think I would talk to that guy no more. And I'm like,
that's messed up, bro. That's messed up, bro.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, no.
Tell the people how much you paid for that truck, Ken. How much you paid for it?
And it had to be about what, 7 to about
7,000. It was about 7,000 for that truck. That's unheard of. That was unheard of. I wanted to buy that truck, man. And I was like, dang, I don't got the money. Ken trying to get in the game. I told you about the truck and boom. Yeah. But let's not harp on that. You over it. You got past it. You bought the Freightliner now. During this time, you was doing container, right?
Well, during this time, I was doing containers. Exactly. And that was the main reason why.
Container.
Oh man, it was. Believe it or not, containers is not as bad as people make it seem. You know what I mean? It is the beginning and it is the end of trucking. I will say that. But containers is not as bad. I mean, let's just be totally fair and honest. For the people that are doing it, I'll give you guys kudos. I personally, if I was, I probably wouldn't go back to that. Or if I do, it would be later on in my career. But containers is not as terrible as a lot of people make it seem. Because I didn't have a bad experience. I didn't have that terrible of an experience pulling containers. I did it for a year, and it was relatively great. Now, just to go back a little bit, the main reason why I actually bought the Freightliner Cascadia, or the main reason why I had confidence to do that, was because I had a contract already with the container company. So I don't want folks to think that, oh well, I would just no. I already had something that was going to pay the bills that was guaranteed. I just didn't have the equipment at that time.
Right.
So now I had to make a move on, okay, I got to go get me another equipment because money's waiting on me and I got bills to pay. So I ended up getting the Cascadia. And believe it or not, man, that Cascadia did me well. It never put me on the side of the road.
Nice.
So that's the difference between having a decent equipment and just going out there just willy-nilly or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did containers for about a year or whatever. And fast forward to 2019.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, containers is doing okay. I'm making decent, but I know I can make a little bit more if I can go out there and just run regional, or if I can go out there and just put the name on my name on my truck, cut everybody out. And this is back then, if I remember correctly, this is when I was in deep. Sorry, I was trying to move on to a different company. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I forgot about that. I don't know if you remember this. We had a conversation about MAG, a company called MAG Trucking, MAG Trucking.
Yep, I remember you was excited to go over there.
Man, I was trying to get on with them. I had a buddy of mine that had already been with them for a little while, and he was singing praises about them. Unfortunately, with the containers, I did a run to Savannah with the containers on the way home, bobtailing. I got pulled in the scale house. And I ended up getting an out of service violation a couple of weeks before transferring over to MAG. So MAG said, "No, we can't fool with you. You just got those doggone points. You got to wait a year for." I mean, it was such a gut punch because I was so ready to move on from container. I had already filled out all the application process. I had already been in communication with these people. We were on the first name basis. Hey,
Right.
Ken, how you doing? Hey, Lindsay, how you doing? You know what I mean? Haven't even met them yet. So I just knew that it was guaranteed. But when that happened, they were like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, we can't fool with y'all," And I think it was a Christian company or whatnot. So it seemed like they was doing pretty decent. So that was such a gut punch, man. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm trying to leave containers. I found the company that I want to deal with, and they telling me I gotta wait another year." Dude, that's when I kept in communication with you, like, "Hey Tim, I want to do this. I want to go back out there." Once again, the guy that sold me the truck that I shouldn't be talking to, I picked up the phone and called him again. "Hey Tim,
Damn, bro.
hey man, I'm ready to do." You know what I mean? This is the reason why you don't cut out, friendship and relationships and everything else, because you never know how you. Once again, we here doing this together.
Right.
So I called him up. I'm like, "Hey Tim, hey man, I'm ready to move on from containers. Mag just told me they can't fool with me. Do you think I can make it out here on my own?" And believe it or not, brother doggone called me later on that evening, and we went over the numbers on what he thinks and what I would be paying as far as insurance, as far as the type of work that was out here and how to run. And I came on out here. I got a little bit of money. I got a little loan. I went on and bought me a trailer.
What type of trailer?
Oh man, I went and got one of those old what's the name of that company that oh Jesus Christ. Everybody went and bought their trailer. Red and white.
Schneider, Warner.
It was red and white. Red and white. Nah, red and white.
US Express.
That's it.
Was it US Express?
Probably.
I think that's what it was. It was a red and white trailer.
Drive-in.
Drive-in.
Okay.
Drive-in. I bought it for about $7,000 or $8,000 in Savannah.
Okay.
Saw it online. Guy had it. He wanted 10 grand for it.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I'm about to go out there and get this thing. I said, man, if he talk good, he gonna get 10 grand out of me, but I ain't getting him 10 grand. And true enough, I was able to get it for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Came home, once again, the excitement. You told me about, how to go about getting my own authority and everything else. And I went with a company called TBS. Went and got my authority, did factoring with them and everything. Got the names on the side of my truck, and I started pushing. I started doing regional. Got on the load board, started calling, and back then I actually even thought that I was even going to be richer. Once again, don't forget that was the goal, because now we talking about COVID era. You can run as crazy as you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mind you, now my mindset once again just came from clocking in and punching the clock. to
Yeah.
doggone being an owner operator. So this is like, whoa, I can do this. You know what I mean? So COVID hits, scale house. What is that? So we run it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm actually taking a whole day off of work just to do paperwork.
Yeah.
That's how much freedom and leeway that I thought I had back then. Now that I think about it, those one day, off days could have been X amount of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean that's neither here nor there. But I did that I did regional for about 4 or 5 years. And my son kept, obviously got a little bit older and
You was in the dry
school.
van that long?
I was in the dry van for about 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23. I was in dry van for about 4 years.
Wow. It don't, man, them years went by fast, bro.
But fast, didn't it?
Would you
I actually paid off, Salim, let me tell you, I actually paid off the Freightliner. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
I actually paid off the Freightliner. Now, mind you, now I went and bought this Freightliner at the start of my trucking career, owner operator career, and I actually paid that Freightliner off while I was still out there doing the regional.
Nice.
I mean, I mean, ain't that something?
You're hustling.
Oh man, then that's when I really thought I was going to be rich because now I got equipment and it's great.
Yeah.
Why not? But my son obviously got a little bit older, got in high school, started playing sports and everything else, and I needed to be home a little bit more. I was doing the region.
Yeah.
And I would be home a little bit more. During that 2022 era, 2023 era, rates started kind of fluctuating a little bit as well. I had a broker, man, I mean, it was rough. I had a broker, man, at one time was giving me $1,200 for a 3-stop run, about $1,200 to $1,300 for a 3-stop run. And we did that for about a month. Comes back and he was like, "Hey, Ken, you guys don't want to pay this and that." So you already know where I'm going with this. Right? So he was like, but it wasn't bad at first. He was like, "We'll do it for $1,100." I said, "Okay, no problem. Why not?" Mm-hmm. Yeah, mind you, that's the first call. So we did it for about $1,100 for about a week. Second week he called again, "Hey, Ken, man, I don't know what's going on with these brokers, man, but they are really, really, really tripping. So I can't do it for 11 no more. They can only do 950." I said, "Oh." He said, but if you're willing to take it before they put it out on the board, we can do it for 1,000. I said, 1,200 to 1,000. Okay, I'll do it. The reason why I did it was because I had another broker bring me back home.
Yeah.
During that same time, that broker calls me up. I was getting another load coming from South Carolina to Dalton, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And that load, I was killing them on that one, about $1,500. Mm-hmm. Calls me up, takes $200 off the first week. 2 weeks later, another $200. It's like they knew they were running together.
They were all in cahoots.
They had to, because he calls me up with the same exact price later on. "Oh man, the customer don't want to pay, so I can only do $950. But if you book it early, I can give it to you for $11." I'm like, so at that time, when you do the math, I was losing about almost $1,000 a week, if not even more. I think about about $1,200 a week, just from those declining rates. And I'm like, yeah, it's not worth it. And then fuel just kept climbing. So for me, I was like, okay, you know what? The rates are declining. The fuel is going up. My son is in high school. I need to be home. I need to get closer to home. So I came a little bit closer to home. And just talking to other guys in the industry, I discovered dump trucking. So that's how dump trucking came into it.
Okay. And no, I'm with you, because I was I've had a similar story happen to me the same way. So that you think the broker? I mean, you think the brokers? There was 2 separate brokers.
2 different brokers, 2 separate brokers, 2 different companies. Never, no kind of affiliation or anything with each other.
And I think this is important. And I think this is an important point, because it could have been. It could have been. I think it's an important point because, bro, the analytics. They know They understand the analytics,
they
bro.
understand.
And we'll get to talking to people. We got to be very clear on this with our with the people that watch our videos. We can't get into these. It's because it hurts us as a people, not even as a people, but as in our just anybody who really just don't know. Bro, the analytics are so critical, and the actual just what's going on in the market and all the lanes and how the market moves up and down.
Yeah.
Bro, they know what's happening.
They know what's happening.
They know what's happening. This guy's probably getting a backhaul. And trust and believe that backhaul that you ran right there, bro. It probably happened year in and year out.
Yes.
Other people might have had it before, and their broker might say it might be into some random. You say it went from South Carolina to Dalton. Like, how much freight is going into Dalton?
Exactly.
I mean, Dalton's pretty popping, but how much freight come out of South Carolina?
It's the only thing that's actually going up to Dalton is just carpet and floors.
Right.
So
yeah,
it wasn't like a lot of trucks was going up that way, or you can find anything coming back and down that way. So
yeah, you got pushed out, but I got pushed out on I got pushed out on trash before that nobody wanted to take, like paper going to a paper mill. And no one wanted that stuff. It was perfect because it put me right back in the city that I parked at, 5 miles from where I parked, and then I wound up getting boxed out of that. Like, no one wanted this stuff, and I get boxed out. It just depends on what's going on, what's taking them somewhere. The brokers are always looking for how can I, man, this guy making $1,200 a day on this load right here, man. I know I can get it cheaper if I put it on the load board versus somebody that's consistent and taking care of it. They can just set it and forget it. They're always thinking, and then it come like and bite them in the butt. I've had that happen. So that's just part of the game. It's not always like someone's trying to get over on you. It is part of the game, and you have to be prepared for that. You got to want to get it good, and you got to be able to move on. And that's a broker situation.
Exactly. And once again, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't want everybody to think that I ran away from it because of the declining rates and the high fuel prices. I have personal stuff at home.
That's
once
right.
again.
You did the right thing, Ken. The hell with all that. You did the right thing.
At the end of the day. I felt like I did as well.
I'm talking about just getting out of dry van. Dry van is trash. Everybody know that. Whether your son needed you or not, you got out of the. We hate dry van around here. We love truckers, but we hate dry van around here, brother.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking to one of my best friends, man, and he was like, you know what? I'm doing the dump truck thing, and it's pretty steady, And once again, this guy right here, I've been on him for a long time. Okay. So while I was out there on the road, we still, we'll be on the phone together, talking and everything else. The ironic thing about it is that he wanted to leave dump trucking to go regional. And I'm like, hey, man, you got kids at home, buddy? You got a wife, you got babies at home?
Yeah.
Stay doing what you're doing. You don't want to do this. And, he kept looking at it, well, it's easier on you. It's less maintenance, supposedly, which we'll get into that.
We'll get to that, yeah.
We'll definitely get into that. But it's less maintenance. You don't work hard. You know what I mean? But I had to tell him on the other hand, well, I got to get up at 10 at night to go pick up this load at 12 o'clock, at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I got to sit there at the hands of them for about a couple of hours. First of all, free for them to load me up. And when they decide to they finish loading me up, now I gotta take this ride. You know what I'm saying? So my time is a little bit more. I use way more time than you would compared to what you're doing. You more on a set schedule and you at home. So, anyways, we was talking back and forth, and from what he was telling me, I felt like that was a better move. So I ended up. I made a decision to come on home. I had a little bit of money saved up there, and I was able to get financing for my dump truck. Once again, I had just paid my Freightliner off, so I was able to maneuver that way.
How did you find your dump truck, brother?
Okay, that's another story as well. But because I've already had past issues with trucks, and I didn't want to go through that again. I ended up shopping. I talked to a lot of people. I asked what was the best truck, dump truck out there,
Yeah.
everybody agreed that a Mac, that's what you should get. But unfortunately for me, it's just a preference thing. Mac is a Volvo, and the Volvo is a little difficult to work on. Not saying it can't be done. It's a little bit more expensive. The parts are a little bit more harder to find, and I didn't want to fool with that. I had a Freightliner prior. I already knew what a Freightliner was, and I had an International Prado Freightliner, and I knew that Freightliner I never had any major issues out of it. So we're gonna play with the devil that we know instead of messing with another devil. So I did all my research trying to figure out the right truck. The first place I ended up looking was obviously Facebook Market, just to have an idea of what dump trucks cost, how much I'm willing to spend, see what my budget is and stuff like that. And I
Okay.
was shocked. I was shocked to see the prices of dump trucks.
Were they high?
Yeah.
Shocked. Okay. And to
Dump
this
trucks
day,
ain't
I'm
cheap,
still
man.
shocked.
Not a good
A
dump
brand
truck.
new dump truck. I mean, you can Google it. You go look it up. A brand new dump truck.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay $250,000.
Got so, Matty.
$250,000 for a brand new dump truck. And I'm not making this up. Y'all can look it up. Viewers, y'all do your own research. You're gonna pay $240,000 for a brand new dump truck.
Lord.
It's just what it is. If you're going to go with like a semi-used, you're looking about 100 and something thousand. So they are very, very, very expensive because it's one complete unit. You got your whole entire office right there. Everything you need is just one unit.
Yeah.
So I was shocked. I'm like 200 and something. Oh, so we automatically know we cannot afford a brand new dump truck.
Right.
That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. So I started trying to dibble dab with 100 and something thousand, thinking that I can get financing for that. But that's still for me, after doing my research, the price of the dump truck or the payments wasn't the problem for the dump truck. It was actually the insurance for dump trucks are actually significantly higher than anything else out here. So,
but you see this one right here? You see this
What the
dump
hell
truck?
is that?
Is that an RD? Yeah. How much you want for that? How much does you want for that truck?
$3,300. It's a 73 Ford 600.
It must say. I bet it say must tow away. I bet it say must tow away, don't it?
Tires with you,
Right?
Bring tires with you. But yeah. So I ended up So just having an idea of what these dump trucks cost, I was like, you know what? I can't afford to buy a brand new dump truck. And I definitely certainly can't afford to buy $100,000 dump truck. So I had to bring my, I had to come back down, lower my levels down a little bit. I didn't want anything too raggedy, obviously, at the bottom end. Yeah, but I wanted something that I can obviously be able to afford the insurance and the truck payments at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up sticking with payments around the $50,000, $60,000 range, and I knew that was going to be my budget. I found a finance company called CFF. Don't ask me what it stands for, but I wish I should have brought the paper with me. But
It's fine.
I think CFF financing and commercial fleet financing. I think that's what it is, something like that.
You
But
must
anyways,
be endorsing them. You endorsing them right now, or are you telling us to stay away?
I wish I was getting paid, but I'm just trying to help the viewers out there. For anybody looking for finance.
Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead.
No, I'm not getting paid for this. I don't know. I don't have any kind of affiliation with them or anything like that. Arnold Trucklines is his own entity. But anyway, I was able to get financing through them, and once again, this is more like a third party type financing thing. They broker the deal between the finance company and you. They bring y'all together, like Amazon bringing customers and manufacturer, in one meeting place. So basically, that's what it is. And so this is not the actual the people that are financing the truck. They just bring you out together. But anyways, I was able to get with them, and I was able to accept the terms with them, and I was able to finance. They was able to approve me for about 50 something thousand, close to about $60,000, and I was able to get my first dump truck. Well, I was able to get my first budget for my first dump truck. So I knew what I was working with. I knew I had $50,000 to work with. Now I'm on hunt. I'm looking for a dump truck. My journey actually ended up taking me to Houston, Texas,
Wow.
looking for a dump truck. Man, everybody kept recommending this company or this dealer called Max Truck Sales. This is another way that we find dealers, right? When you go
Okay.
down the road and you see a truck, a tractor, a trailer, a dump truck, or anything, just look on the back of that thing, man. You're gonna see this thing called a mud flap
Yep.
that protects
Yeah.
all that stuff. They always got the information on where they get their trucks from.
Dead
So if
giveaway.
somebody don't want to tell you where they get their truck from, just say, okay, go ahead, pull out in front of me, man. I'll
Check
follow
that
you.
mud flap. Nah, that's real.
Check
That's
that mud
true.
flap. Information is right there with the telephone number and all. Might even actually have the salesperson doggone name on there. But
Right.
anyways, Max Truck Sales is well renowned in the dump truck community. So I jumped on a flight and I go out there to Houston to go check them out. And bro, no. The stuff that I saw, I wasn't okay with, not from what I had already experienced prior.
Mhm.
Nope, I'm not getting in a new industry or a new part of the industry, with any kind of headaches or any kind of, no. On the way home from Max Truck, I get back on Facebook and I found my truck. I saw a Freightliner Cascadia. Once again, my love. You know what I mean? I found a Freightliner Cascadia. It was a conversion dump truck now.
Mhm.
Freightliner Cascadia. Oh, there's no dump trucks with the title or make as Freightliner Cascadia.
That's why I
No.
was wondering. I've never seen a Cascadia
No.
dump truck.
No,
Somebody built that.
Cascadia do not make dump trucks.
Right.
They only build conversions.
Okay.
So if you see a Freightliner Cascadia and it's a dump truck, it's not a
built.
manufacturer built
Yeah.
dump truck.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't touch that truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody didn't touch it, So now, if you're looking for a dump truck that is a Freightliner, they do make them. It's just not called Freightliner. It's a Western Star.
Mm.
Western Star makes dump trucks all day long.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's the same DD13. It's the same everything as Western Star is Freightliner.
Yeah.
But their dump truck division is Western Star. It's not Freightliner at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, I saw my Cascadia online, man. And I'm sitting there trying to board a flight to get back home after I said no in Houston. I'm looking and I just saw this pretty yellow truck, and I'm like, you know what? I think that's my truck. I called them up, and we shook on it, made a deal right then and there, pretty much, and I was able to get the truck.
Yeah.
Just that fast. Yeah, just that fast. So that's how. Yeah, that's my journey.
Did you have a plan on how you was gonna find work for the truck already? Because you had already got financing. You was looking for a truck. Did you already have like a contract lined up for that truck?
That's a good question. That is a really, really, really good question. That's one thing, once again, that we always forget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even when explaining certain things to people, right? We sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I drive trucks, or they see the glory days. They see they see the nice cars and the this and the that. Yeah, obviously, there are certain things that we have done to kind of sort of put that away, right? But
Right.
you have to have work for this stuff to work.
Yeah.
Cannot go into this without, you have to have some kind of contact. You have to do your networking. You have to doggone talk with people, even if you may not want to. Luckily for me, the guy that told me about the dump truck thing was working with a company. Unfortunately, they're no longer in business, but he was working with a company called SED, Southeast Division. And
they're not in business no more?
Man, they actually in July, man, they ended up getting bought out by a company called Heritage. Yeah, so they are no longer, SED is no longer in business. And that's something.
What's the company that bought him out?
Did you?
Say again?
I said you didn't know this though, did you?
No. I've seen that company around before. They seem like they're pretty big. SED?
You remember SED? You have to remember SED because you told me about one of the guys that you worked with, and he went dump trucking, and he ended up buying a couple of trucks, and he leased on with SED.
He's talking about Gus.
Oh,
So look,
Yes.
we're familiar with SED, but we didn't know that they got bought out. What's the name of the
Man.
company that bought them out?
Heritage.
Heritage. Now,
Yes.
SED was
Never.
subsidiary of Vulcan.
Vulcan is the big brand. Vulcan is the name, is the disc. Vulcan Materials is who owns the rock quarry.
Right.
Okay. Vulcan creates their own product, meaning the rocks, the stones, and everything else. Vulcan, on the other hand, do not have trucks. They created a company up under them called SCD that allow owner operators to come in and run under their DOT number.
Yes.
Basically leased on with them.
Yeah, that's all
Now
the
it is a
SED trucks we saw.
15%. Exactly. Now it is a 15% lease fee with them and all that good stuff. So they were basically selling the product and also making money off of us. I mean, but on the flip side, we were guaranteed work.
Yes.
Guaranteed. You're gonna have to dispatch SCD drivers first. We were top tier because obviously they come to them to buy rocks, so we gotta go out.
Their
But like I
trucks.
said, unfortunately, say it again.
It's their trucks. They're going to give the work to their trucks.
Trust, exactly. So it's a couple of guys that were running we call them third party operators that were running, and one of them actually kind of befriended me a little bit, and he was like, "Man, I don't think you should fool with them," And I'm like, "Why?" So he did the numbers with me, and he was like, "Man, they taking a little bit too much money out of your paycheck on a weekly basis." So we did the numbers at the 15% and everything else. And I saw, but I did not make that move to jump ship because I loved the guaranteed work part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So basically, once again, I bought a dump truck. I made sure I got the insurance, and I made sure I got guaranteed work.
Right.
You know what I mean? With SCD. So that was the easy street path for me. Fortunately, some guys, I'm sure that they didn't have that. I don't know how they got started in the dump truck game, but fortunately for me, my buddy was already in it. He was leased on with SCD. They were bringing in drivers, and I ended up just sliding right on up underneath them, and I was with them for a little while.
How long?
After about, no, actually, I was only with them for about 6 months.
Oh, okay. Before you went totally independent.
Before I went totally independent, yeah, there was some unfortunate things that happened with me and them and everything else, but I ended up going independent, and and believe it or not, when I went independent, Celine, that's when I saw the actual dollar figure that the first guy, and this guy is still my mentor to this day. And when I say I would, just like how I would do anything for this dude because he teaches me so much on a daily basis, so much. But after I ended up switching and going all on my own, I ended up putting my name on my truck and all that good stuff again. I saw the difference, man. I saw I was bringing a little bit more money and I had a little bit more control. Once again,
how are you finding lows, Ken?
Now that's the thing. We were still using the same dispatchers.
Okay.
So once again, I've been in a very, very lucky when it came down to this. We were still using the same dispatchers. The only thing that changed was because SCD had so much work, they had no choice but to shoot out the influx of work to the other guys that were, like me.
Outside carriers,
yeah, the outside carriers or third party carriers. So at that time, it wasn't no problem. We were getting work every day. So when you see an STD driver, you saw me doing the same thing, same job. It's just I had my name, my truck, my insurance, where they were going through that company for everything, And plus, I didn't. They had too much control, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Not there wasn't a bad company, but it was just so much control that they had over my equipment and how I should use my equipment.
Yeah, the thing about that is that a lot of people aren't it works well for a lot of carriers, a lot of owner operators.
Owner ops.
Okay.
They're not capable of doing the work that you're capable of doing, that we're capable of doing. They don't want to do the work. They don't want the responsibility. They just want to plug in, get money, go home.
Exactly.
So so I always tell people, look, the less people that's got their hand in the pot, the more money you can make. If you want to make more money, you got to be willing to take on more workload, and that's not necessarily driving. Like now you're responsible. If SED or Vulcan, SED, whoever, they're going to feed their people first. Okay, that's cool. I got other ways of going out there and making more money. I can plug in with other dump truck. I can go to Summit. I can go with. I can make connections with the other people, and just that's the work. People don't want to put that kind of work in.
They want to be fed.
And exactly. I was so, believe it or not, I'm glad you brought that point up, because I was so guilty of that. Matter of fact, I think me and Tim had this conversation, man. When I first started in dump trucking, it was kind of rough for the first few it was kind of rough for the first few months too. You know what I mean? Once again, I'm in trucking. I've been in trucking since 2019, but this is a totally different entity. This is nothing I've ever done. First thing that I wasn't aware of with dump trucking, when it rains, brother, you're not working. Nobody ever told me that. So my first year in 2023, now I'm really, really good with keeping my own records. I'm really good with spreadsheets. I'm really good with keeping track of a lot of things, right? So I can go back right now on my spreadsheet and tell you exactly how many days I worked in April. We were out of work in 2023 in April for 2 weeks straight because of rain. I want to know who in their right mind is going to say, you know what? I'm not working for 2 weeks, but I can still be able to pay all my bills for my business and still be able to pay all my bills on my personal side as well, with only 2 weeks worth of salary.
Yeah.
That's rough, brother. That's rough. And then the second thing about that is, after it rained for the 2 weeks, you still got to wait another 3-4 days for it to dry up. People don't tell you about those things. You know what I mean? So that's why your viewers need to hear these things, because, if you don't know, you're going to get in it and you're like, oh, well, no. When it rains, you can't drive on mud.
Yeah.
And even if they were to allow you on the job site, when you leave the job site, you're tracking up the road. They're going to shut down the job site. So guess what? As a superintendent or the guy that's in charge, I'm not about to shut down the whole entire job site, stop the plumbers, the framers, the this, the that from working just because y'all tracking up the road. No, I'm going to cut out the dump truck work and continue my building project.
Right. Give me a couple. So what are some? This is a very important point. What are some things that a dump truck driver can do when it's in a rainy season like that? I mean, crush and run. Is there anything a truck driver can do? What is the best option?
Okay. Obviously, I'm still somewhat new in the game. So for me, what I do during the rainy days, I've made so many different connections with so many different people. First of all, I carry a wad of, I know that it's still old school, but I carry a wad of business cards with me.
Okay.
So every time I see somebody towing something, every time I see a job site, hey man, look, I do this because honestly, I'm not undercutting anybody. I'm my own entity. I have my own business, my own name, my own everything. So it's not like I'm stealing a client from somebody else or Vulcan or anything like that. So I do advertise my services. I do tell them, that I'm available for work whenever they need me. So basically networking. When you go to these job sites, I speak to everybody from the foreman to the guys, the little guys. And I've gotten work that way as well, whether it's weekend work or whether it's just, hey man, can you help us out for a week on this project? Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna take it because it just pays a little bit more for that time period or whatnot. And sometimes I'll just do it just to build a relationship. If I fool with you before, you know what I mean, and I've done some work with you before, if something were to come up in the future and I'm in need, I'm sure that you're gonna think about me as well. So sometimes I'll do it just, but I'll pass out my business cards.
So you make relationships what kind of work can be done in the rain with a dump
In
truck?
the rain. Okay. Now, you cannot haul mud in the rain. Obviously.
Can't do nothing with dirt.
Cannot haul mud.
Or mud. Okay, what can we do?
You can definitely do rocks. Rocks
Okay.
can be hauled in the rain.
Okay.
GAB, like you said, crushed stone can be hauled in the rain. Anything that has to do with rocks can be hauled in the rain. Now the problem is not the rocks being hauled,
Let's get on
it's
the
the
job site.
job site.
Okay.
That's going to be the issue. So if the job site can allow you to work, then you can get rocks in there. So basically on rainy days, you pretty much at the mercy of the job site. You know what I mean?
Now let me ask you this quick question.
What might feel.
Let me ask you this question. Can you do like trash? Like let's say for instance, someone's doing a demolition job and you want to, you just let them load junk into your dump truck. You go to the landfill, dump it off and go.
Believe it or not, I've done that before as well.
Okay.
I've actually done that in if I'm not mistaken, I think Rockmart, Georgia. The guy was demoing a trailer, a double wide trailer, whatnot. Yeah. Man, hey, come on. He asked me what I charge. I gave him a decent rate. You know what I mean? One, I wanted him to hire me, which I know that sometimes can be, but I gave him a decent rate. It wasn't industry based, but it was right underneath that industry standard.
It worked for you.
What I mean? Say it again.
It worked for you. The rate you gave him.
It definitely worked for me. Yeah, definitely worked for me. But anyway, I gave him a decent rate, and he hired me on for about 4 days because he needed the whole trailer cleaned out in the whole area or whatever. And I was just doing that back and forth, going back and forth to the landfill, just one truck. I've also done like certain residentials where they'll ask for like mulch. Yeah, basically like, believe it or not, and you would be surprised, right? Some people don't want to go get their mulch from Home Depot. They would rather, hey man, can I pay you? And you just because when you go to these landscape supply places, they got the front end loaders, so they just scoop that sucker and put it all in there and they dump one trip. That's it.
Absolutely.
So you'll be surprised at how many landscape people or hey, you need some GAB? I got you. So basically networking. I have to make this clear again though. I only haul aggregate. So I do not haul asphalt. I don't know anything about the asphalt game as of yet. Okay. I don't know anything about dirt game. I just know that dirt, unfortunately, from what I've heard. Okay. Take it with a grain of salt. I just heard that dirt is just a little bit hard on your truck sometimes. They kind of sort of overload you a little bit in certain areas that you go to. But aggregate has been working perfect for me, and that's the only reason why I'm sticking with it. I'm staying in the lane that works for me, basically.
So for the people that don't understand what aggregates is, aggregates is basically all rock material, right? Is sand a part of that at all?
Someone, yes, masonry, and yes.
So sand is a part of aggregates or no?
Yes, limited. Yeah. So we haul pretty much anything from the real tiny pebbles that a toddler can walk on to something as big as the boulders that you might see at a truck stop.
That's crazy. Out of all these years, I mean, how many years you been a dump truck now?
20. I started dump trucking in 2023. So about 2 years now. Yeah, about 2 going on 3 years. Yep.
The first thing we think about is dirt, and you're telling me you don't haul no dirt, and you haven't hauled dirt.
Never had dirt in my actual truck before. Can you believe that? No. Once again, those are the jobs that on Saturdays, on weekends and stuff like that, you can find dirt jobs. You can find certain things. How that works, I'm not 100% entirely sure. I don't want to lead anybody in the wrong direction or anything like that. But
I need some dirt brought out to my property. I need you to bring some dirt loads.
Hey, let's do it.
I don't want that trash dirt either, though.
No, man, you got you.
I want the good dirt.
You got the good dirt, the compressible.
There's good dirt and there's bad dirt.
But he just said he don't haul dirt. Ken, you just switched up. Which one is it?
Him, I would. I don't do dirt jobs, but obviously, if there are certain things that I mean, if there are certain things that's going to bring in the money, and obviously you guys are way more than just associates. So, we're in the business together. But
On the
I've never
weekends,
actually say
yeah.
that again.
Now on the weekend, and you want to make some extra money, and we can piece it together, then and it's a chill situation, and you tell them don't pack my truck out too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You throw some soap on the bed of that truck,
really.
and that stuff comes sliding right out of there. We used to do that
Yeah,
with
I just learned something new. Are you serious?
yeah,
Okay.
when we did that with asphalt. We actually
Yeah, I
used to
do
put
know
in
that about asphalt.
we were putting diesel in there, but I think that's
Yes.
illegal now. You know, they
Oh,
say
it is?
you're not supposed to put diesel in there. So
Oh,
people do soap.
I didn't know
Soap
that.
don't work as well. They put that diesel in there,
They'll put
and
the
then that
diesel in.
stuff comes because that's what people didn't want, that stuff sticking in their truck bed.
Exactly.
Come sliding right out. But the dirt, I don't know about the dirt. I don't know what makes it bad, but I know there's bad dirt, and some people just need somewhere to dump it.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
want
yeah.
that
They
deal.
do have screen dirt. Yeah, they do have screen dirt. They do have bad dirt, contaminated dirt.
Yeah.
They field dirt, stuff like that. And once again, you see how I'm guessing because I don't know. That's how much I don't fool with dirt at all. I fool with nothing but rocks. Put me in a rock quarry, I would run all day long.
God made dirt. Dirt don't hurt. You just got to
Dirt
know where
does
to put
not
it.
hurt.
You know what I'm
Trust
saying?
me, it does.
Put that on the side of your put that on the side of your truck. God made dirt. Dirt don't hurt.
So
It
Ken,
does. It does. What's up, brother?
has the money been comparable to semi truck?
Believe it or not, man, this is the funniest thing. And I think that this is one question that everybody wants to know. Right? Believe it or not, working dump trucking, you can possibly even make more
That's what we hear
than,
all the time.
yeah, you can possibly make more than a semi truck. I mean, just being totally 100 honest.
Drive in, maybe.
Look at Celine. I saw Celine's face from the jump, boy. Like,
drive in or containers, maybe.
Celine was like, bullshit. Oh, bullshit.
Tell us. I'm not doubting you. Go ahead and tell us.
Give us some numbers,
But I'm
bro.
not going to tell anybody to do anything illegal, obviously,
Uh-oh.
But
okay.
what I'm saying is that with the dump truck, right? Once again, we are business owners. We're not just owner operators, but if we take the operator part out of it, we're owners, right? So if you, just a scenario for somebody out here thinking about this in the future, I have a truck, and there's so many different trucks that you can buy dump trucking wise, right? You got trucks that are made for asphalt, and you got trucks that are made for aggregate. The asphalt trucks all have insulation on the bed. That silver thing that you see on the side is insulation on the
I didn't
dump
know
trucks.
that. Okay.
Yes, you will never be able to haul asphalt without insulation.
Okay.
You have to have that. You don't want nobody touching that side and burn the hell out their hands because the asphalt is hot. So you have to have insulation, and also you have to have leather tarp instead of rock tarp. Instead of the mesh tarp. It has to be that black thick, to keep the heat and all that good stuff in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes in, it needs to pour out hot.
It got to stay hot from transit to the delivery site.
Yep. If that asphalt get cold in your truck, it's gonna harden up, and you're gonna have to jackhammer that sucker on up out of there. Yeah. So once again, I have to say that for people that are looking to get in the dump truck field, be very, very, very mindful. If you are trying to haul asphalt, you have to have insulation on the side of your truck. You're not going to be able to haul asphalt if you just buy a regular truck that's just paint all the way from the front to the back. It's not going to work, unfortunately. The silver, the chrome, the aluminum looking shiny piece is not for show. It's for insulation.
That stuff look good, man. I thought that was all for show.
And the crazy thing about it is that the asphalt guys, all their trucks are shiny and pretty.
Yeah.
All of them things are lit up. But once again, it's not just because of looks, it's also by this. You're working at nighttime on the side of the road, you got to be seen.
Yeah. 250, that better be shiny.
You have to be seen.
250, that better be shiny for 250.
Exactly. For 250, there you go. Exactly. So now, how can you make more money, or how is it a little bit more money in dump trucking, in my opinion? Well, once again, if you're an owner and you own a dump truck and you got an asphalt truck, you can run aggregate in the daytime, and you can have a driver run asphalt at night.
Slip seat.
Right on there now. Right?
Same
No,
me.
I'm so serious. I mean,
Yeah.
you can have two different drivers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can have two different drivers. You can
Or
have a
you
driver in
could
the daytime. Say it
mhm.
again.
Go ahead. You can have a drive in the daytime.
If you choose to be the driver in the daytime, you can be the driver in the daytime and have a driver at night. Whatever way you want to flip it, you can double up on your income with asphalt, with an asphalt truck.
Okay.
You
So
know what I mean?
the asphalt truck doubles as an aggregate truck.
You can, yeah, that's matter of fact, the truck that I have is specifically an asphalt truck. I
Okay.
just use it for aggregate. Yep. Yep. So it
So
can.
what about contamination? How do you avoid that?
That's the thing about it. Now you're gonna have to get your butt up and you're gonna have to clean that stuff up in the mornings or whatever. Now hauling asphalt and getting loaded with rocks after should be okay, but
Okay.
you're not gonna be able to haul all that rock stuff and then have residue of that stuff in there. So you're gonna have to clean that out. And that's another reason why dirt would, for me, once again, I cannot say that, stress this enough. I know nothing about dirt, but I'm just thinking in my head, like, if I put dirt on this truck and I gotta doggone get asphalt at nighttime,
No bueno.
these trucks gonna see red doggone asphalt coming out. I don't know about that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm gonna have to pressure wash that sucker all the time, and I just don't want to fool with that personally, you know. But with dump trucking, yes. Now, if you're just doing one thing, I think the industry standard right now could be wrong, but I think it's about $125 an hour. I
I've been
think
hearing that number a lot lately, 120 an
yes,
hour.
120, yeah, somewhere around there. I think it's around there. So if as an asphalt guy, it's actually even better. It's actually a better division of dump trucking if you can get the work. You got people like C.W. Matthews, um,
ER Snell.
E.R. Snell, Baldwin. Baldwin been really, really, really busy lately.
They're doing the
Um,
roads over here where I live right now, Baldwin.
exactly. I've heard of smaller companies like Blackjack Paving. All they do is just paving and parking lots.
Okay.
Um, it's a couple of other companies out there. I'm sure once you start typing all these names like ER Snail, stuff like that will pop up. But if you're able to get on with any of these guys, right, and you're able to get to work, I personally recommend Asphalt over any other entity in dump trucking. Those guys are the best. They're like the Air Force of dump trucking, in my opinion. The reason why I say that, okay,
Okay.
my truck goes over all different terrains. I'm bumping and dumping and stumping and bumbling all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm backing up for miles sometimes. Well, really not miles, but I'm backing up sometimes. I'm all over the place. And for me, I get paid by the weight of what I carry.
Okay.
So I'll get paid by the tonnage. My truck can take up to about 19 tons. They pay you per ton. One ton might be $5. One ton might be $10, depending on the material, depending on how far you go. So you do the math on it. If you got a $10 a ton job and your truck taking 19, you make about $190 each run.
But it
You got
depends
about
on the
8 of those,
distance
you
too,
done made
right?
a good one. Say that again.
Uh, I see what you're saying. You could
Yeah,
do
you done
about
made a
8 of
good
those a
one.
day.
If you can, and if you get that type of job. Fortunately, it doesn't work like that. Those are the anomalies. You know what I'm saying? The ones on the lifetime type stuff where you get the 11, 12, $13 a ton. Usually, averages about about $7 a ton, somewhere around there.
Okay,
So,
that's good info.
yeah, exactly.
So
So,
tell us, why don't you do asphalt, bro? Because you said they the top tier. You got an asphalt truck. Why aren't you doing
I
that?
do, I do. Unfortunately, the for me right now, I don't think I'm quite ready. I am gonna eventually move on to that division or to that part of the industry. But just right at this moment in time, because all I know is aggregate and it is working for me. And as
Uh-huh.
far as the money, and the consistency of the work for me, I don't put in my time. You know, I got certain dispatchers, I got certain people that I talk to. You know, that's just
Understood.
like, yeah, that's just like you saying, okay, well, I'm gonna leave everything that I done rooted and I done built, and then I'm about to jump into something totally, totally different that I have no earthly idea on what to do.
I
and you have to
understand.
start that foundation all over again. So for me right now, since this is working, I'm gonna dabble with it, but I'm just waiting on the right opportunity and the right time, you know. But
Got you.
eventually, yes, yes, eventually.
Well, look, Ken, I know, man, we've been going for a while. If you got a few more minutes, man, I want to ask you a few more questions, and I'm gonna let you go for the
Okay.
sake of the audience. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about dump truck? And I know you spoke about some, like, I guess having to, like, knowing what truck to get. Like asphalt trucks need to be insulated, and
Exactly.
conversion trucks and stuff like that. But what would you say, like, one of the biggest misconceptions in the dump truck game is?
One of the biggest misconceptions. Okay. Um, Everybody leaves the over the road, or everybody that's an over the road driver, or everybody that does over the road trucking or anything like that, they
Hmm.
usually leave or want to leave that and come in the dump trucking world. Once again, if you do not have the work sitting there waiting on you, it's going to somewhat be a little bit difficult. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? The maintenance on the truck can be rough.
Okay, I'm glad that was my follow up. Is
Yes.
the
The
maintenance
maintenance,
higher?
the maintenance on dump trucking can be rough. You got a
Okay,
lot of moving parts. You
okay.
got a lot of. I'm gonna give you an example
He
between.
started crying
Uh,
when he talked about that, right?
Man,
He
you
started
saw that,
crying.
right? He
You
did
I
start tearing up.
know.
Oh my goodness! I said,
God
look,
damn.
as soon as I said maintenance, my wallet just flew out the window. I
Yeah.
promise you. I'm the man. I mean, it is astronomical. I
Yeah.
cannot believe it. So
Yeah.
this is another thing too, right? Coming into the game and being in the game and knowing the game. This is another thing that you have to think and make a for certain choice and decision on. Do I want to fool with a truck that I'm gonna have to put money into all the time, or do I want
Yeah.
to go ahead and just pay for something that I don't have to worry about? Because at the end of the day, just being totally honest, the amount of money that I throw in my truck on a monthly basis, I probably could have gotten a newer truck.
Mm.
Just been totally honest. But the circumstances, sometimes you can't get financing for 250,000.
Right.
It's just what it is. Sometimes you yourself personally can't. So it's not, that you don't want to. It's just sometimes the circumstances doesn't present itself for you to be in that light. So you
And
got to take what comes at you.
does it make sense for an owner operator to do 250 on a truck?
Not,
Maybe
not,
if he was a
not,
big fleet
no,
or something, but
no.
250 for one dump truck, bro, it just doesn't
One dump
justify it.
truck.
That don't
It's it,
justify it.
it it is unbelievable. Once again, my mentor's done it, and he's paid it off. He's I when I say this guy will follow him to rock.
He
I've
got
been in the
multiple
dump
trucks?
truck.
Does he have multiple
He's
trucks?
he's only got one truck. He's only got one truck. Yes. How he does it is just changing tires. He's never in the shop. And the hustle with dump trucking, I think that I know that you got to go, but I'm gonna go back to this real quick
No,
before
take
I
your
let you
time,
go.
Ken. Take your
Okay.
time.
Um, when I got in the game, I got super comfortable with only doing certain jobs.
Okay.
That's another thing about that hustler's mentality, right? I
Mhm.
got real laid back, chill, comfortable, and said, okay, shoot, I'm SED. They're gonna give me work. I'm guaranteed I'm only going to these areas. When I left SED, when I was with SED, I only did 3 rock quarries. Stockbridge, right down the street from me. Forest Park, right down the street from me. And I want to say I think Lithonia,
Okay.
about 30 minutes away. When I went on and I put my name on my side of my truck, things changed dramatically, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going to 10 different rock quarries. I can give you all the locations, all the radio channels. I got everything on my doggone spreadsheet.
Right.
But when I looked at my spreadsheet and I saw what I made in those first 6 months with that company being leased on compared to the first 6 months of me doing my own thing and running like I was, astronomical difference in revenue. Uh, Different. So basically, the mindset is I know that you may not want to go somewhere. Man, you got to go get it. You got to
Yeah.
go get that work. And when it's there, get it, grab it, hold on to it, and put it away. put it away, invest it, put it in a CD, put it in a high interest yield, whatever it is that you do on your thing to make extra money or to hold on to your money, do it. Forget the spending. It's not worth it at this time. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Put your money away. And I promise you, the guy that keeps me grounded as well financially is that guy right there, Tim.
And don't give me all that credit. Don't give me all
Look,
that credit.
wasn't I gonna jump ship again? I was talking to you about flatbedding that one time.
Yeah.
You know what he told me,
About a
Salim?
year ago.
What do you say?
Salim, this dude told me, he said, hey, Ken, hey, man, hey, Ken, I don't know what you think you doing, brother, but if you keep jumping ship like that, ain't nothing ever going to get accomplished. Ain't nothing ever going to get completed.
Yeah.
He is right. He also told me that millionaires are not made till they're in their 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
He giving y'all the gem. I promise y'all. He's giving y'all the gem. Listen to him. Listen to the podcast. Salim is too. He's giving y'all the gem. Listen to him. Like the business, we've lasted this long and we've seen the ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, that I can go on about the stories. I can go on about the DoorDashing days. You didn't even ask about that.
They don't need to know all that.
We're not even going to go to that.
That's a whole nother podcast,
go
baby.
Go on. But
that's a whole nother podcast, baby.
That's a whole nother podcast. But when you sit here and you get that hustler's mentality and the work is out there and you're in this game, man, you better get your butt up and go get it. I got to get up at 4 a.m. You better get your butt up. You got to get your butt up and go get it. I get up at 4 a.m. Sometimes I don't get back in this house until about 6, 7 in the evening. I'm happy. And I'll do it again the next day. And I'm hoping. And when I can't do it the next day, I'm not happy. You know what I mean? You got to have that mentality, though. I'm Salim, you can attest to that. You know what I mean?
Are you married?
So, no. That's a great thing as well.
How old is your son?
Right. That's my favorite.
How old is your son now?
My son now is actually 20 years old, man. So that's another blessing. Did you see that? You see, that's why I say it takes time. Yeah. My son is 20 years old, man. He's making his own money. And that's something. And you know what the crazy thing about it though, Tim? I had him when we was working at Old Dominion.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
That's how long we've been. Me and Tim been on each other for what, 20 plus years now? Yeah, I've had him since. Yeah, we've been on each other for quite some time, man. Quite some time. But
man, I'm glad you said what you said, though, brother. As far as like, you know, the job hopping and stuff like that, and just you spoke about waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, not getting back home to 6, and when you can't do it the next day, you're upset about it.
I'm upset.
You got to be a different type of breed to do this type of stuff, man. People glamorize entrepreneurship and they glamorize being a business owner, but truthfully, it don't matter if you're in a dump truck business or you're starting a coffee shop. You got to be ready to put in them type of hours,
yes,
to get the outcome that you're trying to get, man. Yes. Man, I'm so glad you said it. I'm gonna ask you this before we go. Two more things. Do you feel that the dump truck business in this specific area is oversaturated?
Wow, that's a good question. That is a really good question.
You know, brother.
Yeah. Do I think it's oversaturated? I think it's a small community.
Okay.
I think it's a very small community. As far as saturation, reason why I'm not going to go to that length yet is just because once again we're transferring from in June. We just transferred from SED to Heritage, so we're still in that kinks type. Folks is trying to find insurance. Some people can't get it, so some people are falling off, and that's another thing about being leased on with SED. Some of those guys were actually, they couldn't get insurance after they told them, hey, you know what I mean? So some of them just fell off, man. Some of those guys were running, I don't even think with an LLC. I don't know how they was doing it, bro. I don't know how they was doing it.
Also, Heritage is doing things different, which is making people fall off.
Well, Heritage is just basically bought out the company and said that everything is on y'all. We cannot provide a DOT number.
Oh.
We can't provide.
So they can't get their own authority.
they know anything. You have to do everything on your own
I gotta
at
call
this time.
Gus.
Yes,
I
you
gotta
got to
call a
create.
couple people. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know this is very
yes,
okay.
yes, yes. You got to have your own insurance. You know, your own every single thing. They took all the responsibility away from them completely.
So you got out just in time.
Man, I got out when I said that my mentor,
Yeah.
this guy. Well, I was throwing the white flag. He said, hang in there. And I hung in there. And he told me I got out at the right perfect time. I
Did
got
he
out at
see
the
it
right
coming or just by chance?
time. He just knew, he just saw the 15% that at that time that he was paying. And he just figured that, okay, basically I was working 5 days a week, but I'm only making 4 days a week money
Mhm.
because that last day goes towards these guys. And when you do the calculation times 4 weeks, you're looking about somewhere about $1,000 a week. I mean, a week that's going to them. You do that about 4 weeks, you're looking about $4,000. And you do the math on that, times 12 months. You know what I mean? It just keeps going. So he saw the numbers, and I saw it too. But I'm like, ah. So I finally, like I said, something happened between me and them, and I finally kind of sort of split, and I got away on my own. I'm glad that that happened because I had already went through the process of finding insurance. I had already went through the process of getting. I already had a DOT number and all that good stuff. But basically, I didn't have to do too much. But when Heritage came, these guys were not prepared.
Yeah.
Nobody was. They just came out the blue and say, "Hey, y'all got to get y'all insurance." So can you imagine that though? You leased on with a company, and then all of a sudden you got to scramble and try to find insurance within a
You
few
basically
weeks.
gotta get your own authority.
You got to get your own everything. But luckily, you don't have to have an authority.
Oh, okay.
You don't. You just have to have your DOT number
Okay.
because you're not going by state.
Got
You
you.
got some
Yeah.
guys that do go out of town, but I,
So to circle back around, the game ain't really all that saturated. It's just basically different divisions of the dump truck game, basically, and you just need to get in where you fit in and find a
man,
mentor, basically.
get a mentor, find a mentor, stay in your lane, and learn as much as you can.
Okay.
Stay in your lane, do what you got to do, learn as much as you can. If you're doing asphalt, personally, if you were asking me recommendation, I would go asphalt all day. I'll run my truck, I'll do about maybe 10 loads a day,
Yeah.
roughly average 8 to 10 loads a day. Think about it. That's 8 times I'm going back and forth to this site, up and down with that box.
Right.
All the moving parts. Well, asphalt, these guys, they get loaded and they go sit on the highway, supposedly. Once again, asphalt guys, don't get at me now. I don't know, but I'm just talking about what I'm seeing and what I hear. But these guys go sit on the highway, sleep. They come knock on the door. They might do about 3 trips a day compared to my 10. So when you do the math on a week, my box done went up 10 times a day times 5 days a week, 50 times. Compared to this guy, 3 days a week, 5 days a week is only 15 times. Who's
Yeah.
going to have more maintenance?
You.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Who's going to
Gotcha.
have? I mean, you know what I mean? The tires, the everything. So personally, if you were to ask me, yes, I think asphalt would be the best to go with. They're the Air
Final
Force of dump trucking, and you can make pretty decent money, less wear and tear on the truck.
final question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years in this industry?
Oh man. Oh man, in 5 years. Hopefully in a $250,000 truck. No, no, I'm just kidding. But in 5 years, man, I'm gonna be totally honest. The path that I've taken and my personal life kind of sort of dictates where I'll be at in the trucking business. I'm
Okay.
still gonna be in trucking. More than likely, I'm still gonna be in dump trucking. Expansion wise, maybe not. I'm definitely thinking about expanding, but maybe not to a grand status. Maybe another truck or maybe a third truck at the most, just because drivers and work and all the logistics aspect. But in 5 years, yes, that's where I see myself. I feel like my personal life is going to lead me to what my trucking goals are going to be. But I'm
Get
still
you
going to
get, get you a lady that drive dump trucks.
Man, I think that would be a good thing, man. I don't know if that I don't know if it'll work out though, because she might see how much money we pulling in
Oh
together.
yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
how sometimes, not all of them, But if you get the good ones, you might be good. But the other ones, they see that money, boy.
G-Wagon.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Hey, baby, you know what? Let's
Taking
go.
trips.
Let's go to the dealership.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Jag dealership on Piedmont Drive."
Let's go to
I'm be
Dubai.
like, I don't know. I don't know if we can do that just yet, you know. But in 5 years, though, definitely, I do see myself still doing this. Yes, I love it. I love what I do. I'm not going to take anything away from it. I love what I do. I'm in my own lane. I stay in my truck. I've met great people in the industry.
Yeah.
I still continue. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. You know, I've always been an employee, but once I decided to make that change and have an EIN number, I knew that it was going to be with a hustle.
Yeah.
And I love the hustle. I'm not going to lie to you. And believe it or not, I plan on touching other different things too. It's other different avenues. Remember that container thing that I told y'all now? You know, Arnold Trucklines might be rolling up and down here again with other containers now. You never know.
Okay.
So there are other different avenues. But am I gonna leave trucking? Nah, I think I'm gonna wait for everybody else to leave, and I'm just gonna hang on tight because I do believe that just like the stock market can't go down ever. It's always gonna go up. I mean, even if it does fall, it's gonna come back up.
Right.
We need it. We need it. I know AI is taking over everything, but we need it. There's no way. I personally don't believe that there's no way that they can be able to fulfill everything without us as humans and without that truck, somebody being behind that truck.
I totally
They
agree,
might
special.
they might take away some jobs, but I don't believe that everything will be out the way, you know.
Man, Ken, if anybody wants to reach out to you and maybe ask you some questions and maybe even want you to mentor them, how can they reach you, brother?
Man, you can definitely hit me up on my email at trucklinesarnold@gmail.com. So basically the name of my company backwards. So Trucklines with an S, Arnold, spelled ARNOLD @gmail.com. Oh, I'm gonna even do one better for y'all. Okay? Don't hit me up too much, but I'm gonna give y'all my business number. It's 404-406-2064. Give me a call, man. I'm a talker. Sometimes I need to talk to people while I'm out there working. So
You know you done messed up, right?
yeah, I know I am. And that's why I got the business number. I know I am. No, I'm just
okay. Well, if you want me to edit that out later, I got you, brother. If you want me to edit that out,
that's good. That's good hustle.
Nah. So look, man, go ahead.
Oh, you can actually even find me on Facebook as well at Arnold Trucklines. I'm on there. Hit me up, man, if you need insurance information. If you need anything about aggregate, I'm an open book. I don't gatekeep it all, man. I don't gatekeep it all. So hit me up. Feel free. Feel comfortable.
Man, we appreciate you, Ken. Everything I've done, you supported. You came to our seminar a few years ago. Man, you've always been there. You've always been generous, man. And I just want to thank you for doing this. I'm sure the audience are going to thank you. Everybody just blow Ken up in the comments. Let us know any questions. Let him know any questions you got. Just tell the man thank you, because, you know, a lot of us are trying. We've been hearing about the dump truck game, and, you know, we got people talking about it, but Ken going to give you the real. So once again, thank you, brother.
Oh yeah, no problem at all, man. And like I said, just hit me up. Been in it since 2023. I'm still going on, and I'm still learning. I'm still networking. I'm still on Facebook calls. I'm still on. That's another thing I failed to mention. I'm still on a lot of Facebook networking community, dump truck community. So and they usually I think Dump Trucks of Atlanta, they usually do a webinar or meet and greet type thing on pretty much every week or every 2 weeks on Thursdays or something like that. So
and that's on Facebook.
Yeah, that's on Facebook. Yeah, Dump Trucks of Atlanta. And
Awesome.
you don't have to have anything to join. You can just join and you can just listen in, tag on in, and they give some good pointers on there as well. So I'm on there as well, and there's a couple of guys on there as well. So
man, we appreciate it, Ken. All right, guys, that's the end of this.
Y'all.
If y'all stayed with us this long, please keep watching, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
That's what's up. I appreciate y'all.
Yep.